everybody, I am Rolanda Watson with Rolanda's Tax and Professional Service. I've been in the tax and accounting space since 1997, and I help those transportation industry build and maintain their 6 to 7 figure income with tax strategies. I also help emerging tax preparers who are interested in starting, sticking with, and soaring in your tax industry, build it from ground up. Glad to be here today with my ladies to share some gems.
Hello, I am Shane the Negotiator. Y'all already knew that. And I help coaches and consultants to scale beyond 6 and 7 figures using legal, tax, and accounting strategies. And I'm going to pass it over to Katrina.
Hello, everyone. I am Katrina Martin. I own Wild Tax and Advisory Service based out of Michigan, but working with clients nationwide. I help real estate investors, specifically those in the short-term rental space like Airbnb and VRBO, save a minimum of $25,000 and greater using tax strategies that help them scale and grow their businesses to 6 figures in less than 12 months. On to Latoya out of Charlotte.
Hey everybody, I'm Latoya here in Charlotte. I'm the CEO of Professional Bookkeeping Plus. We help our clients in the food service industry to develop and implement proven tax planning strategies to really focus on keeping cash in their business and making sure they are tax ready all year long.
So one of the reasons we decided to do this is because we actually all meet each week. Every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. we have what's called an accountability call. So we hold each other, even though we're all separate accounting firms and in multiple locations, we decided we were going to hold each other accountable to our goals, trainings, making sure that we grow our businesses and that we help more clients. And so one of the things when we talked, we said we were going to start to go live as a group to share some of our conversations, because maybe in turn it'll help you. And there's what good is knowledge if you don't share it? So we decided to do this. So we wanted to share knowledge with you guys. So you're getting it from 4 different sources, all specializing in 4 different industries. And hopefully you'll gain something from this. And feel free to reach out and share, ask questions throughout this time. And if you like this, we'll do it again.
Yes, and please share if you see it. I see Takara is joined on. She says, hey, y'all. Hey, Takara.
Hey, Takara.
And Takara is a firm out of Texas, but originally hailing from Louisiana.
Yes.
All right.
So one of the things I think Shane, what did we say we're going to start off talking about? We're going to talk about
IRS backlog. So I know that's something that everyone's raving about. First of all, y'all stop hitting me up. Stay out my inbox and stay out my emails. I don't know when the IRS gonna send you your refunds or when they're gonna take your tax payments. First of all, I don't know why y'all calling me because they didn't take your payment yet. You should be glad they didn't take it yet. But anyways, there is a backlog with the IRS right now. And one of you guys can elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, we know that they've, just like most other industries, have a shortage of employees. And then a lot of people have been with the IRS for a long time, and those people are retiring out. So, and then more people have not been backbilling, but the tax returns have increased. We had a million different things happen with COVID, stimulus payments and everything impacted the IRS. And so all that stuff is just a backlog. So they got files sitting there. If you had to do a paper return, it's probably sitting on a desk in some IRS mail room. So when you mail anything into them, make sure you send it registered mail. So at least you get a signature that they at least have it. Don't just drop a stamp on anything and send it in to them. Right. But the one thing that they did do right is they did update the refund status thing, and they added the two previous years to it. So that was cool.
Yeah. Another thing that clients should realize is even before COVID, remember in 2017 when we had a government shutdown? So that actually, the IRS was already backed up, but that instance made it more of a backed up. Then we had COVID. So, and if you're mailing your tax return in, that will put you in a space where you are like, you're not even third in line. You just back up on backup. Then if you're dealing with a resolution situation, that's going to put you in a space where you really need to keep up with whoever's assigned to your file. I mean, that means you need to be proactive and calling the IRS and saying, what is the status, and keeping up. You can't expect for the IRS to just catch up with you on your issue. You have to be proactive yourself whenever dealing with the IRS. And that's your refunds and everything.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah.
And I did see where they were going to increase the interest on any refunds too. So
yeah, that'll be good. And I think the biggest thing, so the trick that I tell my clients sometimes is when you start calling first thing in the morning before the lines open up 10 minutes before, because they're up there. You might be the first one in. After 8 o'clock, you can forget it. You know,
Right?
Might catch
I think
You either need to call the first thing in the morning or at the end of the day.
when
You gotta be sitting there at 6:59 waiting as soon as 7 o'clock. And even at 7 o'clock, they'll say we're not open yet. You gotta wait another half a minute and then you can get in sometimes.
Yeah, we're even paying services to sit online for us.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's not, we don't have even though they do have a practitioner's line, it's not like it's any less busy than any other.
Yeah, because I've spent time, recently was trying to, get some information from one of my clients, and I spent 3 days trying to get in. I would get early in the morning, I would do midday, last thing in the evening, and it just wouldn't even put me on hold, because normally they put you in the queue and say, hey, we can call you back. Sometimes they said that and they wouldn't call back. Other times it wouldn't even give me the option for the queue, and it just keeps telling me to call back.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're busy too. We're not getting in either.
Yeah, but keep trying. The biggest thing is to keep trying, for sure. And then I think the other thing that we wanted to talk about too, ladies, was this looming recession. And how do you recession-proof your business and making sure that you're actually staying ahead of the curve. And I think part of it, I know we all feel like being proactive is the best way to be about it. Start planning now.
Definitely. I know. If I can chime in, for those in the transportation industry, I know for truckers, one of the things I try to tell them, if you can get a head up on your loads, try to move around early in that morning or late in the evening, because of course we know when you're on the road, you use more gas during the heat of the day. And if we're trying to watch our gas usage and making sure we're making the best decisions there, I tell my guys and ladies in the transportation industry to make sure you're being intentional about when you move around and when you fuel up. Because of course, all of that goes in the effect of how far you're stretching your money. What are some things you guys tell your people?
Yeah, I'll go ahead, Latoya.
Oh, just, in the food industry, just like when we go to the grocery store and bacon is now $6. Everything is up. So this is the time to really start doing cost analysis, looking at what's moving in your restaurant, what's not moving. When was the last time you raised your prices? How much inventory you just keeping? So that's just one of the big things, we're looking at. And of course, staffing and retention.
Definitely.
That was before pandemic, after pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely. The same thing similar for the coaches and consultants and service providers. It's most of the systems that we are using are, on the web. So we're using a lot of softwares and all these different programs, and some of them are raising their prices because they're affected with inflation as well. So just kind of shopping around for the better deal, because you might be using a system or a software that was working great. However, because of the price hike, it may not be the most beneficial for your business right now, and it might be time to look into something else. Also, what we started off with initially might not be what is still serving us, 3 years or 4 years later, because as you scale, some of your software and equipment should also scale with you, because you might have gotten started as a single member LLC, and it might have been able to just do A to B, and that's it, not even C and D. And now you're, going all the way to Z, and you might need an upgraded software to that. So I know that's definitely, when I say readjusting your prices, you're probably already having clients who may not want to pay higher prices, because everybody at this point in time want to keep their money in their pocket. So just kind of coming up with some other types of services where you may not necessarily have to increase your price, but shifting your business a bit by offering other types of packages that might be a little bit more affordable for your clientele, so that you lose those clients that you have already.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you 100%, Shane. I did a webinar yesterday on Instagram, and I'm going to share that to my Facebook channel as well. And talking to real estate and short-term owners and hosts about recession-proofing your business. And I'm going to go live again on Friday to talk about a webinar to expand on that. But a few of the things that I kind of covered yesterday was, one, tax strategies. Make sure that that's your money all goes through that tax shredder. So making sure that you're implementing tax strategies early on. Two, reserving some capital. Make sure that you at least try at a minimum. I know it sounds crazy, but if you have a 6-month burn rate of cash in your business that that you could float on if times did get hard, although this recession is not like any other ones. We've got an excellent job market, an excellent housing market, and there's the bank accounts or checking accounts are at the highest they've ever been. So this is just kind of like an offset, like the market refreshing or hitting reset, in a lot of ways. But what you do want to have in a recession is you do want to have some cash reserves, because this is an opportunity. When things go low, you buy, right? So and when things go on sale, that's when you buy. So make sure that you have some readily available cash, and cash is king, right? So watch your spending, like Shane said. Look at some of the services that you have, like going on monthly, and start to revisit, because I do that at least every 6 months. Start going through those subscription plans and realize I haven't used over more than half of them, and give yourself an immediate raise with that, because you realize you're not even it sounded good at the time, but you can start to get rid of some of those things, but start to really look at your actual profits and see where they're coming from, and start looking at your expenses to see what you're spending money on, and what you don't need, eliminate it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely. And always try to be, even if we're not in a recession, be proactive with your money. Be proactive with your business. A lot of us pay too many extra fees because we're reactive instead of being proactive. And being reactive to something, it costs more. It definitely does.
Absolutely.
And we all get lazy. Like, I'm gonna call on that tomorrow. I'm gonna check on that tomorrow. And then all of a sudden they charge your card again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that happened to me. Oh my God, that happened to me all of the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get to that. And then you're like, okay, I'll remember, because notifications will come up. And I'm like, okay, I'll remember that. No, you won't. You gotta do it right there and then, because
that's just like my gym membership. I've been paying $19.99 for the past 6 months. Ask me how many times I've been. And I keep telling myself, okay, we're gonna go this week. 2 weeks later.
We all suffer from the procrastination.
Procrastination.
Or them free trials that you get. Oh, I'm gonna try this new software. Yes, you know how many free trial that I've extended and continued on because I forgot about it, because I'm like, if notifications will pop up, and then you'll be in the middle of something else and you'll swipe it up because you'll be like, I'll remember that.
Or you'd be like, okay, it's just $6.25. Oh, it's just $7.99.
That adds all those $6 and under $10 add up,
And then you look up and you're like, where did I spend that money? Oh,
right. It's just, I've been looking at my bank statement. What?
Yeah. And so what have you noticed this year that was like different than previous years as far as like tax and accounting goes?
I think for me, one of the things was the confusion with the advanced child tax credit and the recovery rebate. It wasn't that everyone is living life. So when you say, did you get the $1,400? They're
No,
like,
I got it. And really mean it, because it's
yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, that was one of the biggest things. So, and of course, the child tax credit, many people really did not get that, hey, you're getting an advance on what you would normally get. So there was a lot more education, continual education about that this year. That's what I would say on the individual side.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of people shocked about, you know, the ones, especially the families who are sharing custody. It was definitely a big hit for quite a few of my clientele, because, you know, the year before, you know, one of parent A had the kid, and then this year when we filed taxes, parent B is claiming the kid, and that became a big surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think for me, I had so many clients that did not file 2020. And it's like, oh, well, I want to file 2021. I'm like, well, what about those other 6 years?
Yeah.
You just go leave them there. So for me, it was just more of that, you know, the backlog of just not filing your taxes.
Yeah.
And on the business side of things, it's like a lot of you guys are my coaches and consultants, and even some of the other industries that I was working with for business taxes. You guys don't want to file your taxes, and you don't want to pay these estimated taxes. You can't make, you know, 50K, 100K, 200K, and don't expect to have to pay any estimated taxes at all. You know, you can't keep waiting until it's time to file taxes in April, or if you have a S corp or something, then, you know, partnership, or file in March, and then you want to gather all your documents and worry about taxes then, and hoping that your expenses is going to offset any type of taxes owed. The whole idea is because when, you know, service-based businesses like coaches and consultants, you know, you want to, when you get started in your business, no one's getting started to have a loss every year. We want to be profitable. Some people want to purchase homes. You want to purchase a car. You want to be able to grow your business by adding in new employees. But if you're not reporting all of your income, and you're not paying your estimated taxes, it's kind of, you make it very difficult for yourself. And a lot of people, you know, you're saying to yourself, or you're saying to me, well, you know, I didn't think that was, I had to report that. And then forgetting that you have your self-employment income from your business, but some of you are still working at your primary jobs. So whenever we are doing tax planning, I'm helping you tax planning on your business side, but you're being very tight-lipped about your personal side. And together is what is going to help you save the most, pay the least, and to be able to scale your business. And that's the one area that I know I wanted to bring up today, because you guys are hurting yourself when you think you're hiding it from us.
Oh, and that's a nice segue, because as you know, this year is the year that the requirements change for reporting. So a lot of people have had the kind of the flexibility, and I use that word loosely, the flexibility of reporting income. Like you use a lot of people use like Cash App or third-party payment vendors, and they kind of flew under the radar with that. As of this year, 2020, starting this year, anything over $600 gets reported. So you're going to get a 1099 this year. And so specifically for like my audience, a lot of Airbnb owners, typically you wouldn't get a 1099K from Airbnb unless you had $20,000 in earnings, or in profits, $20,000 in profits, or 200 plus booking. So, but this year, if it's over $600, you're going to get that information. Is what the IRS states. Now, how many vendors actually follow the rule on that, I'm not sure, but I know that's the requirement that's taking place this year. So so a lot of, you'll be getting tax forms next year. And what I do recommend, another thing too, is what I found this year was a lot of people were anxious to file, and there were so many forms this year. There were so many tax forms this year. So I kind of told a lot of clients to hold off, because there was a form coming for everything. There was a form coming for advanced child tax payments. There were forms coming for the third stimulus, the recovery rebate, there were interest statements, and everybody was delayed. For Michigan, we had unemployment, people that got unemployment, and those forms didn't come out until late February.
Yeah.
So, so whenever you're dealing with instances like that, just pump the brakes, because it's do it right one time and not thinking about amending. Then that's when you get caught up in that backlog with the IRS trying to amend things.
Yeah. Also, to bring up with the 1099K, that's the form that you should look for. Those who do a lot of transactions with your digital wallets, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal,
Square.
Those are the entities, those third-party distributors must file that 1099K. So for our beauticians and our barbers,
cash-based businesses,
yes, looking to the side.
Gig workers,
Gig workers, definitely. This is your warning. Let's be proactive, and you take part in your own business. Start looking at your expenses now. If you're doing stuff, and I'm just being real, if you're doing stuff out the house, you need to start taking an account of how much you're paying when you go buy the hair for the people, and how much you're paying for your expenses, because the IRS will take note, or you will have to report some of that information. One of the things that I've run into with those in the transportation industry this year was the record keeping. And I understand so many people, we all are busy. Let's get that straight. We all are busy. So what I try to do with my truckers is to give them a system that's comfortable for them. Everybody doesn't want to have QuickBooks or have Wave account online, but you have to find a structure that's going to work for you to keep up with your records, because you are literally throwing money away when you don't keep up with your records. And that is the thing that I found this year during, every tax season, but more so this year with everything going on. January through April is not the time to look for expenses. That's the time to report what you've already done. This is the time that we plan and get together.
And let me add this: we're not our most helpful January.
Wait a minute, and let me add to that. We don't have a magic button.
And not only that, not only that, you're right, but not only that is, so that's when everybody's coming. So we're dealing with a limited amount of time and a whole lot of work. So right now, I love talking to clients right now and planning for them. We're getting the best of me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not tired. I'm not burnt out. I'm not burning the candle on all ends. So you're gonna get the best. You get the best of the best right now. So reach out to us now, and just now, because that's what's gonna make sure that your tax return is pristine next year. Not to say that we're doing we're knocking it out, y'all. So don't get me wrong there. But at the same time, to provide you any advice that can make sure that we can bring about a change for your return. Because remember, when you come to us at the beginning of the year to file your taxes, the year already happened.
It's already done.
That's a done deal.
And the best thing about it is, if you realize it doesn't matter what industry you're in, real estate, coaches, all roads lead to tax planning.
Absolutely.
I've seen a lot of the pop-up restaurants. You go to your grocery store, you see them under the tent, they cooking. I always take the initiative to go over and talk with them. And be like, you know what? This tent that you bought with this logo, that's a deduction.
Yeah.
That big old thing of Western cooking oil you got, that's a deduction.
Yeah.
And like you said, bro, stop throwing away money.
Yeah.
Stop stepping over dollars to pick up things. And a lot of times that's what happens where you're trying to save money in the wrong areas. You know, like
Yes.
I'm not gonna pay for a mid-year tax check because I don't even want to pay for the filing when I have to file it. But just that mid-year tax check is gonna bring you so much money back, and not necessarily in refunds, because refunds to me and a lot of times just mean you just gave the IRS a loan, right? But
getting your part back.
You didn't get United States back with no interest. But I'm talking about in tax savings. So
yeah,
the amount of information you're going to get. So what I've been doing with a lot of my clients, real estate investors and short-term rental hosts and owners, is actually building out strategies where we build in plans where you hire your kids, where you lease back property to relatives that that may be dependents for you. So we're using strategies like that where it may not be dollar for dollar, but believe me, it's way more money in that, in the actual that you're gonna get. And it's not just for this particular year, it's actually for years to come.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
And that you put money in your kids' pocket for college later or for whatever they decide to do.
That part.
That does not mean that they're not gonna stop. They're still gonna ask you for money.
Yeah, but right. We keep hearing about people talking about generational wealth. It's bigger than a statement. It's actually doing things.
Yeah,
right.
Putting things in place.
And you gotta absolutely. So that's what we're talking about. Not just talking about, because tax preparation for us is tax preparation is compliancy. That's compliance with the IRS. It's just a reporting procedure. You can't. It's all the year already happened. You can't fix anything.
Yeah.
But right now, here and now,
we got 6 months left.
Now is when you get to it and you build that generational wealth right now.
You know, one of the I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought first.
Okay. One of the saddest things for me is I've had people that's been self-employed for years and they have worked to pay zero or have a loss.
Yes.
And the truth of the fact is when it's time for them to retire and receive their Social Security, there's nothing there.
Nothing.
Because they haven't put anything in. That's one of my passions. I don't want to just report your taxes. I want to look at your whole life. Let's get this retirement together. Let's get you on a health benefit plan. Let's get your children paid. Let's make sure that part of your your business is paying part of your house note. All of that is what we're about as tax strategists and tax professionals. Not just giving the IRS what you already gave them. I mean,
exactly.
That's my passion with helping you, so that at the end of your life, when it's time to chill and retire, you can do that and not still have to rob Peter to pay Paul because you didn't want to pay nothing. Okay,
absolutely. And the one thing that I wanted to to jump in and to really speak about is you coaches and consultants and service providers. I love you guys, but I'm about to talk about you real quick. Ooh. So you guys want to do everything yourself. And there's nothing wrong with doing things yourself, because I do things myself at times. But at some point in time, you have to get the right help. So you don't know what that right help is sometimes because it's not your area. Your superpower is in whatever it is that your business is. So if you're, you're doing coaching, for married couples, or you're doing coaching for single people, wellness coaching, whatever type of coaches and service providing you're offering, that is your superpower. Well, Shane, the negotiator, my superpower is helping you not to owe taxes.
Absolutely. Right.
So it's like, you expect your clientele to pay you whatever it is that you charge to run your business. But then you don't want to pay anybody else to do anything for you. Yeah. At some point, you have to end up leaving the reins alone so you can reach out to the professional who can assist you. The one thing that I hear the most of is, oh, I'm not there yet. I can't afford that. And this is before you even sat with the professional. So how do you know whether you're there or not? How do you know if you can afford it or not? And how do you know you're even going in the right direction? So now when it's time to file your taxes by March or April or May, depending on the type of entity that you have, just as everyone else was saying, running around with chickens with your head cut off because you want this, you don't know how you owe that. Well, it's because you did not do proactive tax planning and you did reactive instead, meaning you waited till it was time to file taxes and then you want to get all the savings then. Well, wrong, that is the wrong time. You have to do that when you finish last tax season, you roll right into the next one by starting the proactive tax planning.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I
Amen.
understand.
That's a word.
I was gonna say that,
Team.
that reminds me about, being a DIY.
Yes.
You do it for convenience,
Yes.
but at the same time, this reminds me of a story. My husband was in the garage working on his car,
Mhm.
and he asked me to come help him. Now, I don't work on cars.
Mhm.
Accounting, payroll, QuickBooks training, that's me. But it was convenient. He needed somebody to hand him a wrench or hammer. Well, my husband, he's a patient man. So he was asking me to look for something I couldn't find it. He had to roll up in front of the car, get up on his knees, and find this tool. So then he says, honey, I'm gonna put this right here. When I ask for it, you hand it to me. So I was like, okay, here is your chance to be helpful. So my husband said, honey, can you hand me that? I was like, I got it. He said, not that. But at that moment, I realized I was there for convenience.
Mm-hmm.
He just needed help. And sometimes in the beginning of your business, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as you begin to grow, as you begin to hit those milestones in your business, know when to give up the reins.
That's good.
If you're in the weeds, you can't see the direction of your business. But what is that poker song? You got to know when to fold them. Yes, that part.
Yeah, definitely, Troy. You got to operate in your gifts, and sometimes that means giving it up. And here's the thing too. I think, especially with the DIY thing, we're never in competition with TurboTax. Some people, if you got one W-2, no dependents, TurboTax it up. However, if you plan on the importance of these documents, we're saying it's only a compliance check, but it's an important compliance check in the sense that it dictates how you get to do things, right? Yeah. So if your goal is to purchase a home in the next in the next whatever, they need your last 2 years tax returns. So that number matters, because then that dictates how much of a house you can purchase.
Definitely.
That's your 90% letter that the lender gives you is based up on how much you can qualify for based up on your income on those 2 years tax returns. And let me tell you something. So I don't sound like Rodney Dangerfield. Let me tell you something. But let me tell you. So what they do, so they operate on the honor system when they're giving you that 90% letter, right? So you give them your last 2 years tax returns, but by the time it gets to the underwriter, they have you fill out a form 4506T, which is a transcript request form, where they pull your last 2 years tax returns from the IRS directly, and they match that information up. You see what I'm saying? So don't try to get slick, or you can't get slick with them. And like, I'm gonna up your numbers. I might fill this one in. I might amend this return. They're gonna pull what's there. And so two things: if nothing's there, you don't qualify for anything, right? So then you may be able to qualify for a bank statement loan or those types of things. Those are higher interest rates, right? And it's a harder level to qualify for. So here's the thing: all those programs for first-time home buyers, all those things where you're going to get some cash to help you close and all of that, you got to have those 2 years of tax returns to get those. And that number matters. So this is about not reporting all your income. You're not going to be able to qualify for what you really wanted to get. Not filing, you're not going to be able to qualify what you're going to get. You need to file for bankruptcy. You can't do it because you need your last 2 years tax returns. Those documents matter in controlling your life. So we hear a lot of the gurus out there saying about building business credit, building generational wealth. It starts with the basics. You
Definitely.
have all these taxes and making sure that you get all the information on there right. And even if you have to, work with us, we can help make sure that you put that money back in your business early on, not January through April, but right now, we can make sure that you put that money back in your business. So don't cheap yourself.
Yeah.
Don't cheap yourself and operating your gifts. If this isn't your passion, we love talking about numbers. This is our passion. If this is not your thing, turn it over to us. Let us have fun with it and work with it and make sure you get a strategy. And then you can sit back and chill and make sure that that stuff is done right and that you're going to reap the benefit of it.
Yeah.
And the advantage that you guys have that, some people don't, is that once you reach out to any of us, we collaborate with each other all the time. Like, hey, I got this client, this. What do you think? To kind of get the best credits, because 4 heads or 10 heads is better than one. You guys don't even specialize in this area. You specialize in whatever it is that service in our industry that you're in. And you don't know the tax laws, the rules, where the credits are, but we are here to actually help you and grow your business. Everyone's talking about generational wealth, legacy building. It's more to it than just making a whole lot of money. Then what are you going to do with all this money once you make it?
Right.
And as Ro mentioned earlier, when she said, you'll look up and then it's time for you to retire, or you decide, I don't want to run my business anymore. I want to sit on the beach someplace. And you don't have any Social Security because you want to write everything off and you don't want to file your taxes on time. So you don't have any monies put away. You don't have a retirement fund set up because you left your primary job, your employment job, decades ago, and you've only been running your business. So you didn't put anything aside.
You can still sit on the beach. You just may not be comfortable.
you might be living on it, but the thing to think about too, I had a lot of calls over the weekend, because a lot of people in the in Atlanta area, Shane, you know about this. We were talking about that have Airbnb, and Shane has an Airbnb in Atlanta.
I was sitting there listening.
And they're changing the rules of, you got to be a primary residence in one of the units. You can only have 2, and then the other one, you have to own them. So there's so many people that are doing the rental arbitrage where they're actually subletting places. This changes the game for you. I mean, there's workarounds. We read laws to make sure we can find you some holes there. But the bottom line is this. You want to own something, because your the asset is in the actual owning of the title, right?
Absolutely.
Whether you got a loan on it or not, but you need to own that, because you can't control what you don't own,
Absolutely.
So the bottom line is, so at some point, even if you're doing the rental arbitrage to start off, at some point, you're going to want to acquire some of those properties. So actually filing your taxes the right way and getting some strategy and having these checkpoints is important to make that happen, because you can make a whole lot of money, but you can also lose a whole lot of money not doing the right things and putting the right systems in place. Not doing your accounting, or a monthly or at least quarterly accounting, taxes is going to screw you, because people are, even if you're paying estimated taxes, there are strategies where we can put in place where you don't even have to do that.
Right.
But you gotta work. But you gotta work with
it. You can't depend on a once a year relationship with your tax professional. You gotta be in your business as much as we're in your business.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to care more about your business
than you.
If you're ready to go from the pop-up tent to the food truck to the restaurant, it starts with the planning. It starts with the strategy.
And you put out a whole plan for people to do that over a projected period of time. So they may have it as a dream in their head, but you're actually going to put it on paper and make that happen for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And we're going to meet constantly about it. Like I said, it's just not a one stop. I don't want to be the side piece in the relationship. I am the long-term relationship, with my clients. And, just like Ro has her passion, that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I see in the chat here, Chanel said, I had a once a year relationship with my tax person. We only thought about him during tax time. And then Lisa says, relationship is where it's at with clients.
Absolutely.
We're in the relationship business.
We
We
absolutely
help
are.
them grow.
We watch
Exactly.
kids grow. We watch kids grow up. We remember conversations from 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We mourn together. We especially
Yeah.
we mourn losses together. I've cried more in these last 2 years than I've shed tears in the last. I'm not gonna say how old I am, but you know. So, but yeah, we really grow close to our clients, and that makes us go harder for them. You know,
Yeah.
we want to see you win. Because
I
when we can report numbers, we feel like we had a hand in
We
that.
did that.
Yeah, we've
We
all
did that.
Yeah, with my business owners, when they come in or when I'm talking to them, one of the things I'm doing is I'm going back on their vision. I
Yeah.
love to find, what is your vision? What do you want for your business? So did you do this? All right, where are we on that second truck? Did you buy that trailer?
Yeah.
Okay, do you still want this now? Do you want that? And we adjust
Absolutely.
Mhm.
and move their money according to their vision. So
Absolutely.
I think it's important. It's
Yeah,
not
one of
just
the
a one-year thing.
absolutely, one of the questions that I ask when we're sitting on our strategy sessions to kind of find out, how are we going to work together? One of the things I always ask you guys is, where do you see yourself in your business in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
And how much money do you see yourself making? I always ask those questions because your plan is going to be based upon what you say. And sometimes you guys are lowballing yourself. Sometimes people will say, oh, I just want to make 6 figures. I'm like, we can do that in 2 months. Easy.
If you put the right stuff
So,
in, absolutely.
right. So, so it's like you guys, you plan out, speak what you seek. So what exactly it is that you want for your business and yourself, you got to speak to your professional about it so that they can help you with your plan.
And I want to add this too. Somebody may wonder when they watch back on this is why do we specialize in different industries? Because we want to master a particular industry because the tax space is huge.
Oh my
and
God.
each law is devoted to specific categories and they're vast. So in order to, so you're not going to you can have a generalist that specializes in general areas of things. And we're generalists in most things. We know
Yeah.
all classes. But the bottom line is you want a specialist. So if you have a tumor, a tumor on your brain, do you want to go to your
General practitioner,
or do you want
Right.
to go to the best brain surgeon? So we specialize in our industries because we want to be the best for those particular audiences. And that's important because you want to make sure that, I had clients this year who forgot about, they didn't do any accounting. They may have been new to the Airbnb or the short-term rental space. And when they sent over their numbers to me, I'm like, wait a minute, there was no property insurance.
Yeah.
There were no utilities. You had 0 repairs. You didn't pay any property taxes. You didn't have any, just all these basic things that happen. What about the furniture? Do you own the property or do you rent the property? Do we need to depreciate assets? Do we need to, did you buy any patents? Did you buy any trademarks for your business? What type of advertising that you do?
Yeah.
The fact that we specialize in particular areas, we know what you need in that area.
Yeah.
Even better than you probably think you need. And we partner with other individuals outside of the accounting space to make sure that those things happen. We partner with financial advisors that can help you build out your estate planning systems because we know what you need in this space. So we partner with those people to make sure you don't have to go looking through Google to find partners and different. We partner. We all sit down at the table together and say, how do we make John Smith hit his goal this year and next year and the year to come?
Yeah.
We sit around and have a round table about that. Most of my clients, we do a monthly CEO meeting where we bring all the partners together to figure out what needs to happen.
Yeah, I see some comments coming in there. First, Lisa says, speak what you seek. She says she loved it and she's still in that one. Lamenzo says, you guys are spot on. And then Chanel says, rich people understand the power a good tax and accountant have. She said that's why they pay them well and keep them close. And she says all money's good through the money team before being, what was it? All money's good through the money team before being released to the public.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I get what she's saying.
I understand what
it all goes through the rich before it actually hits. And the funny thing is, in all honesty, I get why we don't do it, because we haven't been trained to do that. We kind of just follow these protocols that we grew up. Go file your taxes every year. That's what
Right.
but we gotta, but if we're building generational wealth,
And
the
change that
legacy building, we gotta reprogram, right? Because that's
Right.
that model does not work. That you keep doing keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same result, right? So that model does not work. You have to do check-ins. If you're not doing monthly accounting, you need to at least do a quarterly check-in or a check-in. At least that once a year is going to have you on the losing end of the stick. And not to say we're going to make sure we get you all that we can. However, we can get you more if you talk to us now, because we can put stuff in place right now that's going to bring you better results.
Right.
I firmly believe whatever stage you're in, you need a team. You need a lawyer, someone who knows legal or liability advice. You need a trusted financial advisor, a tax advisor. Those people, we talk about rich people all the time, or people who are paying $0 in taxes. That's because they have a team. Not once a year, but every month. They have a team that's constantly working together to make sure that they are paying zero or minimizing their tax liability, and not just the tax liability, but making it work so that they can be whole, so that their insurance is their executive plan, their accountability plan is taken care of. Executive officers are taken care of with legal loopholes to make sure that they're taken care of. And that, honestly, that can start when you start your business, and it can grow with you as you grow.
All it takes is a conversation.
Absolutely.
It's a conversation.
Absolutely. And build that relationship. And then the thing too, because look at from our end, we know the accounting space. We don't know all the spaces that run our business. So we all came together from our business coach, Latoya, shout out. Because we joined her program for accountants to learn how to market our business, because that's not an area that we don't like to sit like this.
We like the numbers.
But we like numbers. And and a lot of us are lonesome doves. We get in our corners and we just plug away. But when you need a person to teach you a certain thing, you hire professionals that specialize in that to teach you.
Exactly.
So that's how we all came to be, because we invested in our businesses and invested in ourselves. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. And we invested and made sure that we joined a coaching program to learn how to market and support our business. How y'all like how it's going so far?
Exactly.
Love it.
Which that rolls us into, the one of the points that I wanted to mention is titles. So my people,
yes,
I love you, my people. However, my people, we are stuck on titles, and not we isn't you. You guys are stuck on titles. Now, as you can look up here, you see there's EA with a CTC. There's a titles there. There's no title against mine yet. One more exam and I'm gonna have a title on mine too. However, I'll run into a lot of clients or potential clients, and the first thing that they ask me, well, are you a CPA? First of all, do you even know what a CPA is? Or did you just hear about it because that is the word around town, is that you need a CPA? But ask yourself, what do you need a CPA for? And I'm not throwing shades to no CPA, because Lisa's on the chat here, and Lisa's a CPA and a good one at that. So CPAs are great. However, a lot of the things that a CPA is doing, a lot of things the EA is doing, a lot of things that I'm doing that I don't have either one of those titles as yet. Now, they may be a tiny fraction of one thing or two that I will not be able to do, or we may not be able to do, but that's fine. That's why you have that team. But we are so stuck on the title. Like it has to be a doctor. You can't deal with the nurse, even though the nurse is doing all the work and the doctor is just showing up, do the little thing real quick, getting paid the big bucks. It's the same thing. A lot of people don't even know what EAs are. And realistically, EAs are behind the scene a lot more than CPAs a lot of the times. And I'm not comparing apples to oranges or one or the other, because one, I wouldn't say one is greater than the other. But you guys have to stop being so stuck on titles, because you don't even know exactly what those titles mean, but you want those titles.
Yeah.
Because however, I've run into clients, and yes, I'm passionate about this, because you coaches and consultants and service providers, you make me want to choke you sometimes, but I love you anyways. But you'll come on there and you tell me your experiences that you have. Oh, I had a CPA that told me this, a CPA that told me that. But you still broke in your business, because that CPA that you trusted because of that title does not specialize in taxation. So they're helping you with books and helping you with whatever else, but they're not helping you so much in taxation. Or you may have a professional that you're loyal to because your family member has been going to Antoine and them for how much ever long years it's been, and you don't want to leave them, even though you sit with me and I'm telling you, okay, your business is missing this, your business is missing that. And you're like, yeah, I know they're not doing right, but it's my family member.
Yeah,
how are you supposed to build generation wealth if you stuck with these people that's not helping you?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, bring that in. Do you guys experience any of that
You
in
know,
your industry?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll explain it a lot of times. A lot of times I would say, and we partner with CPAs. Lisa's on the line and we partner with her. Like I said, we partner with every dang on body. But what the difference is, one of the differences is because there's no master, because there's no team, there's no I in team. You know what I'm saying? And the bottom line is you really have to get you that's how you learn and grow, by getting outside influence. And because let me tell you, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. And so your approach, somebody's approach may be a little different than yours, and it's the way that you may need it done. But so the kind of the variation between a CPA and an EA, so we all do taxes, right? So CPA is certified public account, EA is a enrolled agent. So the variation is a CPA is state licensed, and they do audits. So that's kind of the variation right there. An enrolled agent is enrolled with the IRS. So our testing was specifically on taxation. So we take four series of tests specifically on taxation, whereas the CPA takes 4 tests. Three tests, and one of those is on taxation. 3 tests, and then one of those is on taxation. So, and then we're licensed. Enrolled agents are licensed globally. So we support people everywhere. So the CPA, the variation typically is the audit. That's where we kind of differ a little bit. But there's no right and wrong. But I think people just get so comfortable, that's just something that moniker is something that people have gotten used to saying and hearing. And EA is EA has probably been around longer, but people just are not as familiar with it. But as far as taxation, that's what we specialize in. That's what all our tests were on. We had to be not only test through the IRS to take on that title, which are brutal tests. But we also have to get background clearance on that, because all of our own taxes have to be in order. We can't give you bad. Look, you better check the messenger, right?
They go through our life.
They do a background check on so after we pass the test, they do a background check on our lives to make sure we're all on the up and up. So if you do see somebody in either of these titles, that you're dealing with professionals and people who've been vetted, and that they've test, on either end. So there's no right or wrong, but definitely if you're trying to get some strategies and that sort of thing, tax as a specialist, then that's what EA specializes.
We don't just do it and we just didn't get the knowledge and left it alone. We are constantly
continuing education.
And
we are lifelong learners.
Lifelong learn. I'm never going to graduate education.
Yeah, and that's the thing about taxes, though. Whatever tax professional you have, you want to make sure that they are up to date on the latest. And whenever you're dealing with the IRS, the latest could have been yesterday.
Absolutely.
5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago. So that's what you want to make sure, that your professional is going to be around when you look for them. If they're closing up in April or March, that might not be a good thing.
And you don't see them again until the next year.
And do some background on your tax people too.
Absolutely.
Look up your tax professional.
Yeah.
And if they're,
I think let me I think what the CPA is, that's just a term that people know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enroll agent, we still have to educate people on with our specialty. But I think that's just a term that people know, and they really don't mean any harm. They just need to be educated.
Right.
Yeah, I keep, when people say that, we keep talking because let me find out what you need, you know, because now nine times we got it. And if that logo, if that moniker is really important to you, then I bring in a partner. Time check, ladies. It is 5:02.
Oh,
yep. So I'm going to read some of the comments here. I also got some comments here. So Lisa says, yes, Katrina, I always advise clients to have a team in place: lawyers, accountant, financial planner, and insurance agent at least. Then Chanel said, we advise our clients to speak with us and our tax professional whenever needed to make investments. Then Lisa also says, legal manipulation of the numbers to accomplish your goal.
That's right.
Another one to steal. She says, pay the cost to be the boss. Then Chanel also said, I don't care about alphabets after your name. Show me your work ethics and referrals. That's all I need. Then Lisa says again, nothing wrong with EAs. Then Chanel again says, I work in the medical before. The doctors would oftentimes ask the nursing staff what to do, what do the titles really mean? Nothing if you don't know how to use it. And as she said, as long as you can get Uncle Sam to run me my coins, you good in my book. So Lisa also says, I'm a CPA that specializes in taxes, but if I had known about the EA license, I would have gone that route. It would have been a lot cheaper. And then Chanel also says, I'm never going to graduate education. I love that, Toya.
Absolutely. Well, it has been fun, ladies.
Yes.
I say we do this again. If you guys are interested in hearing this again, please leave comments and like, share, and not, this isn't YouTube, so don't subscribe, but like,
comment, and share.
Like, comment, and share, and let us know if you're
absolutely
again. And I had a good time, and this was fun because we actually, like I said, we do this every Tuesday morning.
Every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
Oh, over here.
So wait a minute.
Yeah,
so when we typically do this, we actually washed our faces and put on some today.
We got good shirts on.
At 7 a.m. we have scarves on.
Yeah.
Some of us are still, most of us are still in our PJs. We do not. We call it our millionaire morning meeting, and we come like we are. So we did try to clean up a little bit for y'all, but
we talk about the same conversations that we had. We have the same conversations. We talk about the newest tax laws. We talk about any changes, ways to improve our business, how to help you guys in your business. So we have continuing education, even the unofficial one where we're not getting any CU credits for it, but we're still doing this so that we can continue to stay educated and be abreast of the tax laws and the changes.
No, and we operate in, like we said, we're in an accounting space, so it can be, we're kind of operating, we're kind of solo doves a lot of times. So this is nice for us too. So it's always good for us to get out and hear that, get some additional some insight and information, and share our share our insight with each other. So we really enjoy it. It comes early every week, but we look forward to it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this this session. And we were excited to chat with you guys. We were like, let's take our show on the road. So
all right, so
comment, share, comment.
All right, so I'm gonna drop everybody's link in the chat so that if anybody's interested and you want to reach out to any one of us here, then you definitely can do so. Let me open up this panel. There it is.
We got Shane on the ones and twos because
yeah, I was over here holding it down over here.
Thank you.
DJ Shane.
All right.
And if you'd like to chat with any of us individually, Shane's putting our Bitly, our meetings to book a call with us in the chat.
Oh, you had another link to him. I put the wrong one.
That's okay. Somebody will find me.
Let's put our individual links
in
there.
All right, we got one to go. Copy, paste. All right. So yeah, it'll be out here. We'll also have the edited version at a later time on IG. So if you guys are over there on IG and you have some folks over there that would like to listen to this message also, and shortly, not today, like maybe in a couple of days or so, we'll have the edited version for IG.
Yay. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to us.
Thank
See you next
you.
month.
Bye-bye.